Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about some stuff that I've gotten since the last video that I made, which was quite a while ago. Not going to really be any structure. I'm going to try to go through things as quickly as possible. So if you're interested to see what I got, stick around. Okay, first up, this is Escale in Haiti by Les Indemodables. In my last video, I showed the kind of sibling fragrance to this one, which was Escale in Indonesia by the same brand, which is an ambergris cologne. And shortly after that, I think I mentioned in that video that it had, after having it for a few months, it had gotten really, really powerful in its performance. And shortly after that video, I decided it was too powerful. It was a great fragrance, a great summer citrus with like a authentic ambergris base, but I found it to get kind of cloying in that ambergris saltiness, ozonic character. So I sold that off, and actually I ended up selling it, unbeknownst to me, to a YouTuber who I watch fairly frequently, the Etherealist, and he didn't know that I was a YouTuber, and I didn't know when I was selling it on eBay that it was going to a YouTuber, but he later messaged me on Instagram, and I don't know, it was just a funny coincidence. Anyway, I ended up picking up this fragrance because it is also super unique. It's a vetiver cologne, and it's not just a straight vetiver, there's also some myrrh and tonka there, but it's definitely primarily a vetiver fragrance. The thing that's interesting about it to me is that it doesn't go in a citrusy fresh direction. The best way I can describe it is that it goes in a kind of like mountain air freshness. It's sparkling. It's kind of aldehydic. I don't know if it's aldehydes or if it's like a pink pepper note, kind of adding that fizziness up top. But it's really super refreshing. The thing I'll say about it is that I've not found a ton of occasions to wear it just yet. I think I might be waiting subconsciously for warmer weather, but I'm really happy to have it. It is super interesting. It's well made. It's a cologne, but on the bottom of the box, when I opened it, see if it will focus here. It says Eau de Parfum, 70% volume. So the 70% I think refers to the level of alcohol. And so there's 30% of, I'm assuming, water and also fragrance oil. So it's hard to tell kind of what the concentration truly is, but it feels much more powerful than a cologne. It lasts for days on my skin. And it's just really, I keep coming back to it. It's super intriguing. It's a mysterious vetiver fragrance, and I'm thrilled to have it. It's Escale in Haiti by Les Indemodables. This next one is not actually a perfume. This is a body oil. This was an incredibly generous gift from my boss at work, actually. This is Lichen by Officine Universelle Buly, which I think is a newer brand. It's under LVMH, and they do some really interesting stuff. They're all, as far as I can tell, based on kind of like, I think, older formulas, and the whole house is this kind of like old aesthetic. They do these like very intricate packaging with calligraphy. It's very nice packaging, and the bottles all have these kind of classical motifs. And you know, I can be a sucker for packaging, but in this case, the actual scent is very, very good. So Lichen d'Écosse means Scottish lichen. I'm not sure how that word is pronounced, actually. I've never had to say it out loud. But Scottish moss, essentially, and it smells very much like that. It's very fresh, dewy, green, soft, and a fantastic smell of soil. This is, like I said, it's not a perfume, it's a body oil. It comes in a perfume, but I'm actually very happy to have this as a body oil because it lasts very well. It has a wonderful kind of vegetal musky scent that's great to have as kind of a base layer. I love to wear it on its own to bed, but it also works really well in an inoffensive, non-clashing way when I wear it under other perfumes. Anyway, especially for free, this is just a joy to have. So that's Lichen by Universelle Buly. Alright, next up is this discovery set that I got from Olympic Orchids Perfumes. Olympic Orchids Artisan Perfumes, I think is the full name of the house. And I was intrigued by this house after watching a video by the Etherealist, actually, where he interviewed the founder. I think her name is Dr. Ellen Covey, and she was a botanist and then a zoologist, kind of a Renaissance woman, I suppose, and she now does perfume. These are all natural perfume, or they're based in naturals, and maybe she uses some synthetics. Anyway, and many of them are based around the smell of orchids. I think that's how she got her start, was she transitioned from her botany work with orchids to then making perfumes. She became most famous for creating Bat, the original Bat for Zoologist, which I haven't smelled. That's not really a house that I've been interested in. But eventually I think the MO is that she took that fragrance back in-house and repackaged it as Night Flyer. And I'd say that that is probably the standout from this set that I've tried. These samples are like, they're a very good size. I want to say they are marketed as being 2 ml, but they definitely feel like more, maybe like 3 or 4 ml. And they're little dabber samples. But Night Flyer is, a lot of people describe it as challenging. I don't think it's challenging. It's the smell of kind of like a bat cave, I suppose. It's a really wonderful black soil accord. There's something in this that I have never smelled in perfume before, which is, it evokes the smell of cool running water, like a river, a subterranean river. And it also has kind of like a fresh, plasticky smell, which I describe as kind of like a new Barbie smell. And on top of that, also just like a big bowl of tropical fruits like papaya and banana and mango. So it's tropical and cold and nighttimey, and it's really lovely. I don't know that I'd buy a full bottle just because it seems kind of limited in terms of when I would wear it. Yeah, there were some other standouts from this. I tried Tucson, which I liked a lot, which is like a creosote desert perfume. Mardi Gras, which is a civet and tuberose, I think, and that was very nice. I'll have to spend some more time with these. I haven't admittedly spent as much time with these as I want to. But one thing it did make me realize was the extent to which presentation and packaging does make an impact on our buying choices, because this is a brand that I think really aligns with a lot of my interest and values, and I really was happy to support an independent artisan perfumer. But I have not been as excited about it because, for better or for worse, the packaging is just not as like breathtaking as something like the Buly or some of the other ones I'll talk about today. Anyway, all of these were very interesting to smell, and I'm happy to have them and continue smelling them. Alright, just a quickie on this one. This is the very famous Oud Satin Mood by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I got this little 5 ml official decant from Lucky Scent as a freebie with my purchase of Escale in Haiti. And I'd smelled it before. I think it's a very nice fragrance. It doesn't evoke oud for me at all. It's not at all oudy or fetid or stinky in the way that I associate with oud. I would say it's kind of a soft woods with rose and a huge violet. It's very sweet, but to its credit, although I don't think it's anything particularly interesting, it smells fabulous in the air, and I wore it to a very formal event, and I think I did like 3 or 4 sprays from this little bottle, and it just performed really well. And I actually, not that this is something I particularly care about, but lots of people commented on the way that I smelled. And it's perfect for that kind of like nighttimey event thing. And I think that this is something that Francis Kurkdjian is very good at, is perfumes that smell good to other people. So with this being so strong, it's not something that I would ever kind of go out and buy a full bottle of because it's very expensive, but I'm happy to have this little one because just this amount will last me for many similar formal events in the future. Anyway, Oud Satin Mood by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. In the same vein, here's another quick rose perfume. This is a 10 ml, I think, decant of Highness Rose by Montale. It's nice that Montale sells these little 10 ml travel sizes. I actually got this one on eBay. But this is a discontinued perfume by Montale. I picked it up because reviews said that it was similar to Rose Absolue by Annick Goutal, which I've talked about previously and which I love and adore. It's kind of marketed as being a pure rose, rose only, a big red rose with nothing else. It is sort of that. It's not as pure as the Annick Goutal. It's not as beautiful and kind of ethereal as the Annick Goutal. It smells much cheaper for sure, and it is cheaper. It smells like Montale. It's very loud, and so it's a very loud red rose. And on top of that, I again get a lot of violet in this one, which makes it sweet. I got this for very inexpensively, so I'm not disappointed to have it. I just don't have very much occasion to wear it because I have so many other rose perfumes at this point, which I like much more. So I'll consider if there's somebody who I know who might like it or enjoy it or wear it more than I would. That's Montale's Highness Rose. Alright, I'm starting with Labdanum 18 here because it was featured in my last video where I went through all 19 classic collection scents from Labo, and I ended up revealing that I bought this bottle at the end of that discovery set. But since then, my interest in Labo has continued, and so I've ended up experimenting a lot with the brand since then. I'll start off by saying that Labdanum 18 is still among my favorites of the brand. This has just been a delight to wear. It is in a similar vein to the Escale in Haiti, something that I just keep coming back to because I can't put my finger on what makes it so interesting. It is spicy and medicinal and warm and cold. It's very masculine, but at the same time it's very cozy, because I generally am not super fond of things that read very masculine, but I don't know, there's something about Labdanum 18 that it just makes it hard to describe, and for that reason I keep coming back to it. The other thing I'll say about this fragrance, which is applicable to a lot of the Labos that I've smelled so far, is that even just owning it for a few weeks, because they're compounded on site, the scent changes, or it doesn't change, but it deepens significantly in the first few weeks of ownership. So this was strong when I first bought it, and I'd say it's bordering on nuclear after a few months. I've a couple of times now oversprayed, and I'm talking like maybe 5, 6 sprays, nothing overkill, and just knew that I was radiating Labdanum 18 everywhere. And the nice thing about it was, even after overspraying, it doesn't become cloying. It's just that I could tell that I was being like that guy with a lot of perfume on. But I'm thrilled with it, so happy to have it. And if anything, I would probably go back and get the 50 ml instead of the 100 ml, because with the strength of this thing, it will take me a long time to go through this whole bottle. That's Labdanum 18 by Labo. The fragrance that I ranked as second from the discovery set for Labo is Fleur d'Oranger 27, and I did end up buying a bottle of that after that video. This is a 50 ml, and you can see I've already put a significant dent in this bottle This is just such a happy fragrance. I mean, it's a very true orange blossom, and I think it gets a lot of flack in online review forums for being ephemeral or not lasting. One thing you have to take into consideration when you're reading reviews on a site like Fragrantica or Parfumo is that most people don't own the fragrances that they're reviewing. Most of them will smell it in a store or have a sample, and maybe they've smelled it on paper but not on skin. And so now that I've owned this fragrance, I have a lot better of an understanding, I think, and it is not at all an ephemeral scent. I mean, I get really good lasting power on this. Definitely, it will last me through a whole workday, which is incredible for a citrus cologne kind of deal. Well, I guess this is a citrus floral, but you know what I mean. And the very true orange blossom top is, it fades to this very beautiful kind of like lemony cream musk, which is really delectable. And this one is one I also find I can overspray and not face a penalty. It doesn't become cloying. I can kind of just like freshen up throughout the day, and I love that I can spray this one just as much as I want because it's super fresh. And I do end up just spraying it a lot, which is fun. It's nice. It's kind of nice to have like an orange blossom shower whenever you want. And I get excited about wearing it. I keep coming back to this one as well because there's something about it which I just don't understand. And it's going to sound like a criticism, but there's a phase every time I wear this perfume where somewhere in the heart notes I'm like, this smells like pee, or this smells like a dirty animal. And I don't know if it's intentional, I don't know if it's just me. And at that point I'm always like, oh, do I really like this fragrance as much as I think I do? And then it kind of like, it's like a little bit of a knot of grossness, and then the knot unravels, and it's again this like creamy lemonade musk, and I'm in love all over again. So I just am stoked about Fleur d'Orange 27. Yeah. And the Labo purchases marched on. I then picked up, this is Lee 41 by Labo, and I put on this little, I crocheted the bottle because I was bored. I think I failed to mention that about Escale in Haiti. I did that to the Escale in Haiti bottle as well. And that one I did because it just felt like it was going to break. Like the glass on the Les Indemodables is very thin. Anyway, so Lee 41 by Labo. This is a 15 ml, and this one I got because it's a very beautiful white floral. Lee is lily in French, and it's an interesting scent because when I first wore it, I thought it was extremely sharp. Not in an annoying way, but in a kind of, like it was so brutally white floral, like this very, very loud but clear tuberose. And it is that. It's so punishingly white floral that it almost becomes abstract, or it feels severe, and it then softens up a little bit in the heart, and the heart is more of the tuberose combined with the smell of lily, which is a smell that can't be extracted from the flowers, but also some ylang ylang, which does give it a slightly beachy feel. And that's kind of why I bought this perfume. I wear it to the beach. I've mentioned before that I live at the beach and I go to the beach at least once a week. And so this is kind of my dedicated beach perfume. But even as it becomes warmer in the heart and the base, it still remains a little bit aloof and kind of cold, like a very, very beautiful woman who you might see out in public who is so stunningly gorgeous as to be unapproachable, and maybe she's got like sunglasses and she looks right through you. I don't know, it gives me a lot of feelings, this perfume. The final thing I'll say about it is that in the base, it is just a gorgeous, one of the best vanilla dry downs I've ever smelled. I would describe it as vanilla and blonde woods. Like if you can picture when you see these multi-million-dollar home videos and the Hollywood Hills, and they have those French white oak floors. That's what the dry down of this perfume smells like. It smells as clean and as expensive and sweet and alluring, and it lasts. It's one of the most long-lasting perfumes I've ever experienced. It will last for 48 hours. It's nuts. Anyway, I should stop talking so much, but that's Lee 41 by Labo. Because Iris 39 has been, it's not discontinued as far as I can tell by Labo, but it's kind of been being phased out of marketing. They don't display it at the stores anymore, and doesn't come in the discovery set. So I ended up buying 2 of the 1 ml samples on eBay. And I really liked it. It was intriguing. It was something that I kept coming back to. And so I ended up buying a 10 ml kind of official travel decant, also on eBay. And I wore it several days in a row to the office. This is a beautiful iris and violet scent up top, but in the heart it has this crazy pivot to being like a tropical iris, ylang ylang, civet, ginger, lime. It really smells like a luau to me. It's so vibrant and lively, and that heart is really well defined and lasts for a few hours before it transitions to, in the base, being what I describe as kind of like a modernized or even kind of like postmodern Chanel, where it's kind of a makeup-y smell, but also with cardamom, which makes it more masculine. And the iris oscillates, you know what I'm getting at. It oscillates between being this very earthy, dirty orris root with kind of like mud on it, which is kind of sexy in its own way, and then being that like lipsticky, powdery, like businesswoman iris. It's just a fascinating perfume that's really well done. I think it's incredibly creative, and I was wearing it so much that I ended up just biting the bullet, and I bought a 50 ml of it as well. I bought this on eBay because it was much cheaper. It comes with this like sticker on it. I was kind of worried that it would be fake, but it's not. It smells perfect, and it was a substantial savings over trying to get it in the store. And I'd even been told by some sales associates in the stores that not all stores carry it. They might have to order it. You can't order it on the website. Anyway, Labo has the worst customer service, and they intentionally make it difficult to acquire their products. But I went the extra mile and I got this one. I'm extremely happy to have it. It's Iris 39. And just to add to the ridiculousness, I had the set of 17 samples from Labo, which were 1.5 milliliter samples, which I went through all of them and kind of decided which ones I liked. I ended up giving that sample set away, and then afterwards there were some that I was still coming back to in my mind, and so I ended up getting this discovery set, which is 6 5 ml samples of some of the house's more popular scents. So you can see here it's Another 13, Bergamot 22, Rose 31, Santal 33, Thé Matcha 26, and Thé Noir 29. So the reason behind this is I really wanted to spend more time with Bergamot 22, Rose 31, and Another 13 in particular. And also towards the end of my sampling journey, although it had initially really turned me off, Santal 33, after smelling Iris 39, became way more interesting, because I think they're actually very similar fragrances. Santal 33 has a lot of iris and a lot of cardamom. I detect some violet there as well. And so the more I played with it, the more I was interested to smell it more. So this kit is a way for me to explore these scents more. I don't really have any interest in Thé Matcha, but I'll try it again. Thé Noir smells beautiful to me, but it instantly kind of irritates my nose in a weird way. It's kind of headache inducing. It's so loud. It's really quite beautiful, but it also has this weird potpourri smell to me, which I just haven't been able to get over. Anyway, I think that is the end of all the Labo that I bought since the last video. As you can tell, this has become a big interest, and I'm really enjoying the journey through this brand in particular. Okay, we're drawing near to the end, I promise. Two more. This one is Sweet Like Candy by Ariana Grande, and this was a gift from my mother, and I was surprised because, I don't know why I should be surprised, but I really like Ariana Grande's Cloud Intense, which I own, and I find it to be a unique fragrance for a celebrity fragrance because it's very nuanced. I think it's pretty classy for what it is, and Sweet Like Candy doesn't compare. It's not nearly as complex as Cloud Intense. This is really kind of what it says on the tin. It's very sweet. It's a little bit fruity. It's got a little bit of synthetic musk, but it smells good. It smells, there are occasions where I'd like to smell like this. If I was like, I don't know, just running around the house doing some laundry. It smells really nice. It smells very pretty. And the bottle is ridiculous, but I kind of like that too. Anyway, that's Sweet Like Candy by Ariana Grande. Alright, and the last one that I'll talk about today is this one. It's La Treizième Heure by Cartier. I talked about this one a little bit last time, and after that video where I had a decant, I was online just kind of casually looking at perfumes as one does, and I saw this bottle brand new in packaging, sealed, for a steep discount. I think that there's this thing I've been thinking about a lot lately, which is when people review perfumes, they often talk about the smell versus the value or the price. And I tend to kind of hate that because I think that how something smells is completely divorced from how much it costs. For instance, the last perfume I talked about is Ariana Grande's Sweet Like Candy, which I can't imagine my mom paid more than $20 for that bottle of fragrance. But it smells very nice, and it's very wearable, and lots of people love it. And whether it costs $20 or $100 is kind of neither here nor there. But I had not picked up this fragrance, which I loved, because the Cartier Les Ours collection is very expensive. I think these are 75 ml bottles, and I think they retail for close to $400 or perhaps even over $400. And so I kind of balked, and I think it didn't sour my experience of the fragrance, but I know for a lot of people it does. Anyway, when I saw it on sale for, I think it was like $150, I immediately jumped on it, and it comes in this really beautiful packaging, which is hard to express on camera, especially because I'm on my iPad today. But it's like a leather textured paper, and it's very heavy cardstock, and it comes in like a little podium, and the bottle itself is very cute. The bottles look really good. They are kind of an odd shape, but they've got a lot of really nice details like gold foil, and the 13 is on the back, but you see it through the front, and the top is, well, it's Cartier, but all you can see is my face. Anyway, it's just a beautiful scent. Again, it's mostly a patchouli scent, but it's got birch tar, and it's very complex in that it's birch tar, patchouli, vanilla, some like aniseed. There's jonquil or daffodil here, and it's very leathery. At the same time, it's pretty linear, aside from kind of a start with bergamot and tea opening, which in itself is very unique. It then transitions to that chocolatey, vanilla, patchouli, leather, smoke, campfire, nighttime kind of scent, and stays that way. Anyway, I'm really happy to have this one. I've worn decants of it for a long time, and it's finally in my collection. And I'm really happy that you guys stayed with me for this whole video. Thanks for listening to me talk a lot about perfume, and leave a comment with what you're enjoying this spring. All right, talk to you next time. Bye.